It's February 4th, but this is a broadcast from February 3rd. And that's 2022. I'm listening. I don't know where to even begin on this one because I'm listening. First, a girl tells her story about being hacked, and then people taking her personal information and trying to raise or gain money or access, but it wasn't her. Then there's the Facebook and Instagram's message, and then it goes into the advice of the industry or the section or sector for technology. It's an interesting paradigm, and I don't know which way they're trying to shift this for framers.
Do more here, and we're working hard in both these areas to stop bad actors before they cause harm. We're joined now by Jermaine, a technology writer for Consumer Reports. Good morning, how are you doing?
Good, thanks for having me on.
So can you explain what cryptocurrency scams are to people who don't know?
So
Under the umbrella of
scams
cryptocurrency
are really on the rise these days, and it's basically anytime a fraudster gets in contact with you and tries to get you to invest in Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency or pay for some kind of good or service. And the bad news is you really don't have to know anything about cryptocurrency to get wrapped up in one of these things.
So they go on your Instagram account? I was wondering, how do you spot them? They go on your Instagram account?
They reach out to you over Instagram. It could be an email or a call. There's all kinds of different ways they can get in touch with you, yeah.
How can you tell if it's genuine or not?
Well, in general, you just want to... There's a couple of different...
I don't use email any longer. I've kept myself off from that when there's no need for business purposes. There's just no need to email. It's not like I keep a Rolodex of friends.
Steps you can take, right? Number one, you want to trust your gut. If you have a bad feeling about someone you're talking to on the internet, you want to listen to those instincts.
Thomas, not everybody has a good gut.
I know.
Right.
You got to get something else.
Yeah.
Not everybody has a good gut.
That's
Go
true,
ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, you also want to be careful about who you're getting in contact with.
So now this is trust your 4 ways to prevent a scam. Trust your gut. Don't respond. Check before you click. Pay wisely. That's Consumer Reports or Consumer Reporters. All right, so now this goes back to one ply, two ply on last night's random phone call of, I don't know if it was a robot, I don't know if it was a scam caller. Was it scam, SCAM, to see how my reaction would be? Is it really like an angel of justice somewhere else in the galaxy and the universe that actually has power to change people's lives in like a safe way? Was it a message from some local jerk who, like, I don't know, started some forest fire because he thought one thing and now he's realizing like his life and job, more than just his job, is on the line and now has to reach out and be nice in misquoting and misrepresenting oneself? Is it actually like altruistic? Like, and then trying to convey a message, but through a filter of at what level is this kid gonna get it? And it's like, okay, so now I could do like the knob thing, but is it like hobnob you help turn down the source of the heat? Because they could be a rowdy, really dangerous bunch if they think they're in danger of like quote unquote untouchables. Or are you talking about like you turn down the atmospheric pressure and heat at like lower multi-sourced law enforcement perhaps of joint task force that may read something the wrong way and uh-oh. And then they look to like the dangerous bunch that pays like salary and paves the way. Like again, I like I don't know, like la 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 on that one. And it's hard because it's like I want to believe that the person taking the time who was allowed to get through the cellular network and actually reach out and call me, I want to believe that whoever it was in whatever classy outfit that they work for, above class 0, which is where I am at the moment, I want to believe that they had good intentions, that like if I'm only going to receive like a few phone calls, that the one that gets through actually is very meaningful and powerful in solidifying whatever needs to be reconstructed in order to turn down the danger of whatever's going on outside. But again, it goes back to blind trust, blind faith. When one is so, I don't know, I hate to say the word ostracized because I didn't put my head in the sand. It's like someone buried my head in the sand and then pointed at me like I was an ostrich in ostracization, for metaphors. Then I saw earlier, which I didn't know, they showed a billboard of Meta, META, parent company to Facebook, again, words I'm just learning in relations. And it has like the number 8, acht, but turned on its side. It looks like a sidekick, SIDEKICK, like somebody took a snowman stance and kicked the snowman and then it fell to the side, sidekick. And now it looks like a spectacle, a pair of spectacles. But underneath it, it says one hacker way and Facebook. And it's like, is that like the life hack? Like, we'll just follow along from a distance. So this way, like, we don't actually have to get involved and do anything. I mean, I'm a little confused why Facebook would be organized or orchestrated that way with some parent company, Meta, which sounds better than Beta, BETA, since Beta is a test of some sort. And I'm not the type to be, like, trialed by whatever. But here we are. In outsorcery. It's so frustrating. So anyway, so this is the best advice the humans could come up with. Animals and monsters have been playing games somewhere. And there's a human alien that just needs a big brother, the right one. A big brother, might I add, that will hopefully not choke me in my sleep to try to kill me, or one that sticks me or invites people into the house to stick me with needles as I sleep. So hopefully I could get a big brother that's like against those kinds of violations. Because thus far, the human endeavor and the human condition hasn't even been able to, like, provide that much in safety and security.
Payments to, right? Sometimes I'll ask you to send payments over Venmo or Cash App. In general, you want to limit those to your friends only. And then number 3, just don't respond. You get a message from someone, they say they're from the government or from your bank or someone you don't know at all, just ignore it altogether.
This happened to me last week, actually.
Now, what if that important, because I saw President Joe Biden was in New York City at a really important meeting for the federal, like the big leader is here, like New York City, like the big parent is here in your city. he took the time out of his schedule to come sit with you all because you're either really dangerously off course or you're really that important to him. In like, I guess, a metaphorical, metaphysical way of being a father of a nation kind of a way. So, in a big nation with big expectations, and lots of voices, and opinions and artwork and I don't envy the task he was tasked with. But and then you've got Governor Kathy Hochul sitting, however, and then Mayor Adams. So it is just a line of communication, and then you have the public. There's such, and then you've got planetary misalignment, which should set the priority, but it's been hard on a communication standpoint with so much shuffling of individual human priorities, it would seem, by what they're presenting through this filter.
Reached out to me on Instagram and said, "Hey Nate, let's talk about crypto."
But my whole thing is that if that phone call from last night, after, which actually came in, I made a mistake. That happens every now and again if I misquote myself. I thought it was 518, which would have been an Albany area code. It turned out it was a 513 area code, which was Cincinnati, Ohio. I didn't know until after I checked. And I don't really know anybody that I'm aware of from Ohio. I mean, I think Ed used to be from Ohio, Levine. One of the best people, like one of the best humans I have ever, like probably one of the longest relationships, but at a distance, at a professional, whatever, but just gave me a sense of security in, like, a big brother was close, even though I don't know if he was technically a big brother in a bigger schematic of some sort. But he was in Ronkonkoma when I returned to New York. He was from Ohio, and he drove a minivan, even though he didn't have. He had one daughter. He was like one of the best humans I've ever met. Like, really genuinely so, in the way that he treated me. He treated me with kindness, respect, and professionalism. He was not overbearing, and he was not argumentative, which I appreciated. And I gave him his personal space, of course. So that is that. But if this unbeknownst caller from, we'll call it Ohio, that was not Ed, or maybe it was, but wouldn't know, because, I mean, again, we don't have a phone, whatever. If he called in some unbeknownst whatever, but if this theoretical person was like super, super important and the Consumer Reports is saying, just hang up, that's where my quandary begins. Because if this is like almost like if this person is the most important, like the President of the United States is calling you, but you don't know because it's some private number, and then you hang up on them because that's the advice that this filter has given, because communication's gotten so bad, you put yourself in undue trouble immediately. So I spoke with whomever was calling yesterday, not knowing who they were, trying to listen in I'm interested, but because you took the time and you were able to get through on the phone, in what you have to say, even though I don't quite know how to interpret or intake the information. But then when push came to shove and it was more like, but I'm a scientist, but I'm a scientist, but I'm a scientist, then I was just like, again, I'm gonna, like, I mean, just, and I hung up. Because it's like, I know people get stuck on these things like, oh my God, you're a scientist. You're like the most important person in the world. No. You're a football star. You're the most important person in the world. No. Like, you're a musician or an actor, right? Again, unless you have a following, there has to be a reality constructed, and then how you fit into that in order for some appreciation or value to be reciprocated, to be received, and then orient oneself and then reciprocated. Just like sector information, and then the vector is the cross section. So therefore, you get a reaction or an emotion. But if an unsuspecting person doesn't know the sector, either of them, where you're coming from and what you are about, it becomes hard to give you some kind of like vectorized, like real genuine emotion about your stardom or your fame or whatever your expectation might be. But according to just Nobody Special, which is what I'm assuming they pulled off of from there, go with your gut seems really, really dangerous. But sometimes you just don't have a choice, and then just hang up. Again, what if it's the most important phone call of your life? How do you know the difference? And how do you know who's going to pull you out of like a whatever, death dive, I suppose, right before you crash and burn? It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. And it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.